So in today's video, I wanted to show you a couple of different pieces of brewing equipment that all fall under the one banner of pour over or gravity fed coffee. Now I tend to use the one method for pouring no matter which piece of equipment I use. I thought that I would feature the Chemex today. It comes in a range of different sizes. You have 3 cup, this is a 6 cup, and then there's the 8 cup. It is really easy to scale up your coffee and make more, unlike these brewers which will only allow you to make 1 cup at a time. They produce a really super tasty, clean, almost delicate tea-like texture to the coffee, and that's because of the filter papers. They're really quite thick compared to the other brews, and that prevents any of that suspended coffee particles from entering into your brew. So let's make one. Because I'm using the 6 cup Chemex, I'm needing to scale up my recipe. Today I'm using 30 grams of coffee to 500 grams of water, and I'll show you just how to scale up and down your recipe in another video. So today we're using the 6 cup Chemex. You'll also need the full circle filter paper. You'll need something to stir with, set of scales, and some ground coffee. We're using the Colombian El Progreso from Veneziano. It has a beautiful lime and cranberry acidity to it. And you'll also need a kettle. So a temperature controlled gooseneck kettle like this one is probably the ultimate goal for any cafe barista or coffee enthusiast at home. The gooseneck allows you to have a more controlled pour, and you're able to set and hold the temperature. And alternatively, you can use a regular kettle. You just might find that it will be a little bit difficult to control that pour. You might end up with a lot of turbulence on the surface, and that can lead to over extracting the coffee, which can mean more bitterness in the cup. So if you are experiencing quite a bit of bitterness and you're unable to control that pour, then it's probably time to upgrade to a gooseneck kettle. So the first thing that we need to do is to rinse our paper filter. So the 6 cup and the 8 cup Chemex filter papers come pre-folded, and they have 4 layers. So you just want to gather up 3 layers on one side, and I'm going to place that over the side that has the spout. This is going to provide more stability so that when I add my water, that filter paper isn't going to collapse and create an airlock. So I'm going to add a fair bit of water to rinse that filter, remembering that the Chemex filter papers are quite thick. Just making sure I'm not creating too much of a seal. While that drains through, I'm going to ensure my water is back up to temp. So I'm using 96 degrees, but if you're using a regular kettle, just go straight off the boil. So that's drained through. I'm going to empty my water. Tear that off, and I'm going to add my coffee, just ensuring that I've got my 30 grams, which I do, zero that off, and then I'm ready to start the bloom. So for the bloom phase, I'm adding 3 times the amount of water to my weight in coffee. So I have 30 gram dose, I'm going to be adding 90 grams of water in the bloom. The idea is that I want to saturate the coffee as fast as possible so that all the grinds start to extract at the same time. So I'm going to start my timer, start in the middle, going in a circular motion, ensuring to saturate all of that coffee. I've got 90 grams there, and I'm going to give that a really good spin. So the bloom is going to allow that carbon dioxide in the coffee to escape. So that's the bubbles that you'll see. Once the carbon dioxide gets out the way, the water can do its thing and extract. So I'm now at 30 seconds. I'm going to add the rest of my coffee, starting in the middle, working my way in a circular motion, ensuring to pour over that coffee crust that's formed. Once I've incorporated all of that, I'm then going to just hold that steady stream in the middle and pour the rest of my water up to 500 grams. So I'm pouring fast enough that the coffee is falling in on itself, but slow enough not to create too much turbulence on the surface. And I'm aiming to finish my pour by 1 minute and 45 seconds. So this slow, steady pour is also going to maintain that thermal mass of the coffee, helping with the extraction. So I'm coming up to 500 grams there. And then I'm going to give that a couple of stirs and allow that to drain a little bit. When it's at 3/4, I'm going to pick that up and give it a bit of a swirl. So that's at 3/4. I'm just going to pick that up, give it a swirl. That's going to help reincorporate any of those grounds of coffee that are left high and dry back into the mix. And I'm going to allow that to drain through, and I'm aiming for a final brew time somewhere between 4 minutes and 4 minutes 30. You're aiming for quite a clean filter wall and a flat bed of coffee. So that's coming towards the end of our brew. We're at about 3 minutes and 35 seconds, and it's slowly starting to drip through. I'm just going to continue to let that drip, and final brew time of 4 to 4.5 minutes. So if you follow this method that I've shown you today and the same recipe, but you're not quite happy with the final taste in the cup, there's a couple of things to keep in mind. If you have a final brew time of less than 4 minutes, or you're having quite hollow flavors in your final cup, then I would keep everything else the same and go a finer grind setting. If you are experiencing some bitterness, dryness in the final cup, and your final brew time is more than 4.5 minutes, and even if you have quite a muddy coffee bed at the end, then I would go a coarser grind setting on the next one. And that's it. So I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I hope it's helped you to try another way of making coffee at home. For all things coffee related, make sure to check out our web store at venezianocoffee.com.au, and you'll be able to find scales, grinders, and of course all things Chemex. And you'll be able to also find some super tasty coffees on the website, so make sure to check that out. Stay strong and have some fun brewing at home.